Welcome to this week's edition of the Left Bench TV. I'm Noah Gross.
And I'm Marcilla. It's tournament time and Maryland is still the lacrosse capital of the world. After winning the Big Ten tournament, both the men's and women's lacrosse teams enter the NCAA tournament as the top-ranked team. The Maryland women's lacrosse team has put together a dominant stretch recently. 3 straight undefeated regular seasons, 2 Big Ten tournament trophies, and 2 national championships. TLBTV's Jared Bellman talked to the team about what makes the program so special.
It's the team that never loses. Over the last 5 years, Maryland has been the class of women's college lacrosse. The team has won 2 of the last 3 national championships and is eyeing another trophy this season. While the winning is repetitive for this team, it's a feeling that never gets old.
I don't think it ever gets boring, and especially each year is different. Like, I've been a part of the past 3 years, and my freshman year, you kind of are a freshman, you have no idea what's going on, and you're just trying to play each game the best that you can to your abilities. Every season's different, and every game is different. Every game is an opportunity for us to be the best that we can be and show everyone how great that we can be.
This year, the Terps boast 4 nominees for the Tewarton, the award given to the best player in women's lacrosse. Led by sophomore goalie Megan Taylor, the Terps are undefeated once again.
I think they're all so well deserving. You know, each of them has had a tremendous impact on the success of Maryland lacrosse this season, and they just all have had such a huge impact on our success. So to finish the regular season 17-0, they're a real key component of that.
The women's lacrosse team hasn't lost here at home in over 5 years. They haven't lost in the regular season in 3 years. And with the NCAA tournament coming up, there doesn't look like there's anything that can stop the Terps.
You know, it's nice to be home in your own house, in your own bed, you know, doing things the way that we do them.
The Terps will start postseason play this Sunday at home, beginning their journey to what they hope is another national championship. In College Park, I'm Jared Bellman.
The Terps aren't only dominating on the field, they're picking up plenty of individual honors as well. The Terps won 5 of 6 Big Ten awards to end the season. Zoe Stukenberg, Nadine Hadnagy, Megan Taylor, Callie Hartshorn, and Kathy Reese all winning. On Thursday, Stukenberg and Hadnagy were both named to Wharton Award finalists. On the men's side, attackman Matt Rambo was also named a finalist. The winners will be announced on June 1st.
The Terps are hoping to add another national title to their NCAA leading 13 championships. Towson and High Point will play Friday, and Maryland will take on the winner of that game Sunday in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
The men's team won its 2nd straight Big Ten title Saturday after taking down Ohio State 10-9 in thrilling fashion. The Terps scored 5 goals in the final period. Senior attacker Colin Heacock scored the game winner with just over 3 minutes to play.
John Tillman and company captured the Big Ten regular season title with a win in the rivalry game against Johns Hopkins. Megan Smedley has the coverage of one of lacrosse's most exciting rivalries.
It wasn't a football game that had these fans riled up. It was a lacrosse game. With the Big Ten regular season title on the line, the bitter rivalry between Maryland and Johns Hopkins came to a boiling point.
Speaking as a former Maryland player, it's a growing hatred. I hate them more than yesterday.
I don't really like them, but, you know, they're a good team, but just no.
We've got the upper hand this year. We're going to beat them, in my opinion.
The rivalry dates back to 1895 with the Blue Jays having the Terps number. 2 years ago, the teams introduced the rivalry trophy, appropriately in the shape of a Maryland blue crab.
The rivalry further escalated in 1947 when during game week, Hopkins students snuck onto Maryland's campus, stealing the precious Testudo statue. Now, the statue was later returned, but Maryland made sure never to be bested by Hopkins students again by mounting Testudo throughout campus.
And Maryland wasn't bested by Hopkins during the game either. Connor Kelly led the way with 4 goals, but Matt Rambo stole the show, becoming Maryland's all-time points leader.
I never really thought this day would come, but the crowd was awesome today. They gave us a lot of energy.
Maryland would take the game by a score of 12-5, keeping the crab in College Park. The Terps begin their quest for a national championship this weekend with a potential rematch with Hopkins in the title game. For TLBTV, I'm Megan Smedley.
The top-seeded Terps will be back on their home turf in College Park Sunday for the second round of the NCAA tournament. They'll face play-in winner Bryant.
After dropping 2 of 3 games to Illinois, the Maryland baseball team came back home and defeated UMBC 6-2 on Tuesday. Their last Big Ten series of the year will be this weekend at home against Northwestern. We now welcome Austin Kleber in studio to talk some Terps baseball. Austin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Brian Schaefer has been the ace of the staff so far this year, and behind him is freshman Tyler Blome. What can we expect from Blome throughout the rest of the season?
I think we can expect a lot of good numbers from Blome for the rest of the year. He's ever since he's taken over in that Saturday role, he's been one of the better pitchers in the Big Ten. And if you look at his entire season as a whole, he actually has numbers very similar to Mike Schwarren, who was drafted last year and owns practically every Maryland pitching record. So for the rest of the year, looking to the tournament and in the postseason, I think we could expect some solid outings from Blome.
All right, Austin, offensively now, the Terps have averaged over 6 runs a game this year. How have they been so successful at the plate?
It's been a lot of ridiculous plate discipline that's helped them be so successful. Their on-base percentage is 3rd in the Big Ten, and they're 2nd in walks. So when they have so many guys that can just put in tough at-bats and work the count, they can get on base pretty easily, and they're actually stealing a lot of bases too, which helps them too.
Austin, Maryland playing in its last Big Ten series of the year. What postseason implications does this series against Northwestern have?
The series doesn't really impact the postseason at all, but what it does impact is whether or not they'll win the regular season Big Ten championship. So Nebraska, who's in first right now, has 6 remaining Big Ten games. Now, if they drop 2 of those games and Maryland sweeps Northwestern, Maryland's a Big Ten champ. So if they can sweep Northwestern, they're looking pretty good also in the postseason. But either way, they'll probably be a 2 or 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. So it's more impacting whether or not they'll win the Big Ten and not if they're going to get a better seed in the tournament.
Thanks, Austin. The Maryland softball team had a slight chance of making the Big Ten tournament at the beginning of their final series. After getting swept by Wisconsin during their senior weekend, those hopes disappeared. Senior Madison Martin finished her Maryland career pitching 10 2/3 innings against the Badgers. On Saturday, she helped her team at the plate too, trying to start a rally with a single up the middle. In the same game, fellow senior Jordan Augenbaugh crushed one over the fence for her first collegiate home run.
Maryland track and field also honored its seniors over the weekend in another record-breaking event. Senior Misha Powell took home another first-place finish, winning the 400-meter dash, while sophomore Greg Thompson broke a 34-year-old school record in discus. Both were named Big Ten Performers of the Week. After the meet, head coach Andrew Velman talked about the impact of his senior class.
We have 15 seniors, 4 men and 11 women, one of the most decorated classes we've had in a while with school records and an Olympian in the class as well.
The Maryland tennis team just wrapped up its best season in program history. Alex Flum has an inside look at the international talent on the team.
There are hundreds of student athletes at the University of Maryland. 35 of them are from outside of the U.S. 5 of these international athletes play tennis.
It brings a lot of variety. Each person has their own strengths.
Freshman Kate Yemelyanenko from Belarus and freshman Saya Usui from Japan, Ekaterina Tor from Israel, Alexandra Stanova from Slovakia, and Cassandra Thibault from France make up the international talent on the roster.
They're used to different things, used to different coaching, so they bring something different to a team, and I think it makes the team better because of that.
While 5 may seem like a small number, it makes up a majority of a team that has 9 players.
I consider myself lucky to be able to meet many people from different cultures, because I can see a girl from Japan, how she behaves, how she speaks, girl from Belarus. I think it's a privilege.
With a record of 16-6, Daria Panova and the tennis team enjoyed their best spring season in program history. They attribute some of their success to their international talent.
It's different cultures, but at the same time, we do the same thing on the court, so we come together and we fight for the same reasons. So.
9 players from 6 countries with one common goal.
Illinois ended the Terp season in the Big Ten quarterfinals, but Maryland ended the season on a high note. Alexandra Stanova became the first Terp named to the all-conference team since the team joined the Big Ten.
While the tennis team's international talent has had a good year, one international member of the track and field team battles back from an injury. Brandon Wong has the story.
Maryland hurdler Diego Lyons goes to the Eppley Recreation Pool twice a week to condition a season-ending stress fracture injury. Here he exhibits the same determination that brought him all the way from his home country, Chile.
So it was more like a self-recruitment. I talked to a friend who went to Notre Dame, and he suggested a few schools.
After spending about a year of college in Chile, the young athlete sent hundreds of emails hoping to gain a scholarship at a school in the U.S., although College Park wasn't originally on that list.
By the time I emailed Virginia, the coach there, Brian Fetcher, was very, very helpful. He was very interested in me going there, but since I had only completed one semester in college in Chile, their policy didn't allow them to get me in.
Diego was then put in touch with University of Maryland track and field coach Andrew Valman. After a year of college, Diego sought out more challenging opportunities, so he left Santiago, Chile for College Park. As a teen, Diego's talent for running hurdles was easily recognized.
So I started running when I was 14, and I won my national championship that year for that age group. So I won that every year but one. 2013 was a great year. I broke the under 20 national record.
Maryland's hurdles coach Jonathan Hill says competing nationally has helped Diego bring valuable experience to the team.
So he was competing at a very high level in high school, and those national competitions, international competitions definitely helped him out, once he got to Maryland. Just in terms of like handling your nerves, knowing how to compete, the level of competition.
It's been quite a journey from Chile to College Park, but the young man who never intended to be a Terp is thankful for the opportunities on the track and in the classroom. With the Left Bench TV, I'm Brandon Wong.
Diego finished first in the 110-meter hurdles last weekend.
From international talent to professional talent, 2 former Maryland football players signed with NFL teams this past week as undrafted free agents. Safety Alvin Hill signed with the Cleveland Browns, while wide receiver Laverne Jacobs is staying in the DMV, inking a deal with the Redskins.
Return specialist and cornerback Will Likely had not signed with the team as of Thursday night, but he did work out with the New York Jets. Terps head coach DJ Durkin believes in his former star, saying, quote, "If there's anyone that could make it with his stature, with his frame, with his circumstances, he's the guy I'd put my money on," end quote. One Maryland coach is going overseas this summer. Steve Aird of the volleyball team will coach the Big Ten Foreign Tour this summer. Incoming freshman outside hitter Samantha Drexel will also participate.
The Anacostia River is home to birds, frogs, fish, and one club sports team. Danielle Stein shows how this club team redefines the meaning of hard work and teamwork.
While most college students are asleep, the men's crew team is out on the waters. 5 days a week, the team leaves College Park before the sun rises.
It takes a lot to get up at 4:45 in the morning every morning and to go out there and be with your best buds and, really push yourself to the limit.
These limits are tested every day, both physically and mentally.
The sport's not for everyone. It's super involved and you have to have a very strong mental endurance, a strong physical endurance. They say that rowing a 2K is the same as playing 2 full court basketball games back to back.
As the president of the men's crew team, Joel Nair plans out each practice. The boats train for the final regattas of the season on their lengthy practice route. And the team begins their route just down the road from the University of Maryland at the Bladensburg Waterfront Park. However, the Anacostia River takes them all the way into Washington, D.C. This course is more than 7,000 meters long, and the team enjoys flat waters, sights of trees and animals, and scenic views. Although it's competitive in nature, crew requires immense teamwork.
If one person oversleeps or one person, is late, the whole boat can't go out.
Rowing in unison is physically demanding and requires every team member to work hard. The team gears up for the Dadvale Regatta in Philadelphia, the largest and one of the most prestigious collegiate races.
Maryland Crew 1-2! Maryland Crew!
For the Left Bench TV, I'm Danielle Stein.
I'll tell you what, waking up before sunrise to perfect your craft, that's very, very impressive. So we're now going to welcome the third member of our crew, Juan Herrera. For Juan, final thought. Take it away.
It's been hard being a DC sports fan this year. The Caps lost a series to the Penguins, and the Wizards are on the verge of elimination. But if you're a fan of Maryland athletics, there's been a few things to be happy for recently. Wide receiver Rashad Lewis just transferred to UMD. For those who might not know, Lewis is the son of 2-time Super Bowl winning linebacker and former Baltimore Raven Ray Lewis. While at Utah State in 2016, Rashad Lewis racked up 476 receiving yards with 2 touchdowns. I'm sure Coach Durkin is happy to have some more firepower on the team, but due to NCAA regulations, Lewis won't be able to play until 2018. In the meantime, I'm sure Lewis will be working on his pregame pep talks and he'll hype up the team like his dad did in Baltimore.
Juan, if Rayshad is anything like his father, Ray, Terp fans are in for quite the treat.
Oh, for sure.
DMV sports fans really need it. The Caps, the Wizards, it's been a tough time. They need something to cheer about in the DMV.
Yep, for sure.
Well, that'll wrap up our final full episode of the Left Bench TV for the semester. I'm Noah Gross.
And I'm Max Marcilla. Make sure to keep up with the Left Bench's coverage of all Maryland sports on theleftbench.com and on Twitter @theleftbench.